jumping over to like Bitcoin and Ethereum now. So
Yeah.
first of all, crypto markets never
Check it out.
close. And when we're on the crypto markets, we're dealing with a public blockchain, and there isn't, some authority that can be like, oh, the trading's been halted. That's never going to happen when you do this kind of stuff on the blockchain. So
Yeah.
again, I mean, I'm obviously a little bit biased because I'm really a big time crypto fan, but it's something that it really frustrates me when we do the research, we call the correct direction, we set not just the right, short sell position, but literally with correct targets for take profit orders, and those orders don't
Yeah.
fill because trading was halted. I mean, that it makes me
That's some
feel,
BS right
yeah,
there.
it makes me feel as an investor like I'm not playing on an even playing field because somebody is
Yeah.
able to fill these orders, and the fact that I'm being blocked out, I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
So again,
Retail.
in crypto, we're all on the same footing here, and even if I have $1 billion, it doesn't give me any ability to limit your access with your $50, and that's how it should
Right.
be. So looking back over at the crypto markets, you can see
Yeah.
we made it almost all the way to the top of the target that we had drawn out there for Bitcoin. We have started pulling back a little bit here
Yeah.
on the daily. It's still obviously, I
Because
mean,
understandably, because like
yeah, for sure.
$69,000, 69K was the last all-time high. So you can
Yeah,
see, you're gonna face some turbulence, and that's what Bitcoin is. It wicked back down,
yeah,
and yeah, we drew this target out when it was still playing this bull pennant when price was chopped,
yep,
grinding before takeoff. And of course, like, it doesn't go up in a straight line, as you can
yeah,
see. So it can retest, pull back, and then like continue going up. Ethereum hit the target exactly,
yeah.
like, and now it just seems a little toppy.
A little
Not
toppy.
sure how low it'll go. I mean, we'll have to check the weekly, but Bitcoin still has, I think the price is what's around 73K. So that would essentially be new highs
Yeah,
to hit the target. We're 3/4 there. So,
exactly. And
I
we should,
mean,
and it's expected to get a little bit of these pullbacks, especially when we are, like you're saying, we're hitting new all-time highs. A really good way to think about that, when it's like, well, why would it start falling when it's taking off? Well, it's because
yeah.
literally every single person, entity, investor, whatever you want, anybody who's ever bought Bitcoin at that point is in profit. When you hit
Yeah.
an all-time high. So then it's like anybody who would like to realize profits is now incentivized to sell. And so these new all-time highs, especially when they're first happening, the first time in a long time that we're seeing Bitcoin hit an all-time high, this brings a lot of profit takers out of the woodwork. And that,
Yeah.
this price range, we should expect to find at least a little bit of resistance. So this isn't,
Yeah. It's
this isn't like,
understandable.
yeah, exactly. This isn't like,
Nothing to worry about yet.
yeah, exactly. Nothing to
It's
worry about.
expected, right?
Expected volatility, and it's very bullish still. It's easy to see a 5 or 10%
Yeah,
drop in price
literally.
and being like, oh my god, the sky is falling. But then you zoom out a little bit, like you just did, and we're up
I
like
mean,
two
look
hundred percent.
weekly,
You know, yeah,
like
yeah,
the last weekly candle close was like bullish.
yeah,
And technically, you look at this, like Bitcoin did close weekly higher, like past
yeah.
you can see
That's
the last
still
body
bullish.
was like, yeah, that's still bullish.
Very
So
bullish.
it could be just that it's pulling back to retest this, the last weekly high,
Yeah.
and then SR flipping
Yeah,
it or
build us a
bouncing it.
base, like build some base for takeoff there. Let everybody who wants to take profits initially and be shooken out of this, let them sell their stuff, and before we make our next push up. That's generally how these markets are gonna like react. We also are coming up on the halving event here. End of April is still kind of the tentative
Yeah.
date for that. So
Yep.
a lot of investors, this is a known event. We know this is coming, but a lot of
Yeah.
investors are expecting a little bit of a pullback and a cool off after the actual event. So this is similar to
A
the
little bit of a sell the news.
yeah, exactly. So similar if you remember
Okay.
the ETF stuff. So remember the
Mm.
ETF before they were all approved, we got a really nice run up, and then right when we got the news of it, like with that week following the news of the
We
ETF
pulled
approval,
out,
we
right?
cooled off, we chilled out a little bit. And so it seems a little
Yeah.
counterintuitive, but in the investing world, yeah, there's always that saying, like you said, buy the rumor, sell the news. So this could be another one of
Exactly.
these sell the news events, where everyone's already aware of it, but right when it actually happens, we do get a little bit of a pullback. that is what a lot of chatter and people do expect, but we'll have to see, because you know there's a lot more money in these markets now, a lot more institutional players than there was last cycle, and so it's hard to
Yeah.
know if this is going to play out exactly the same way as before. And that's why we just follow
Right.
the chart. So week by week,
Yep.
the pictures
That's what
change.
we take it week by week, day by day,
Exactly.
week by week. Yeah.
Exactly. And then,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, we make our videos like this week by week. So when you guys are joining in to watch what we're looking at, we're able to give a little bit of a broader, you know, weekly kind of assessment of what we're seeing happening or playing out. But then within our own Discord and for our members, we're doing this kind of like on a day by day basis, like seeing how the picture is developing and giving a bit of insight on, you know, what is potentially to come should those trends continue the way they're currently developing. So
yeah,
you know, that's kind of like the beauty of joining Maxi, jumping in the Discord, getting kind of like a constant feed of like updates and analysis of these markets as they're changing, because as you can see, they're always changing, you know, constantly.
yeah.
And like even there, we see on the Ethereum side there, you see that big dip where we got the bear print and then immediately it jumped back up.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that was in our Discord. That was, you know, there's quite a few people saying like, oh, it's like, is this the top or whatever? And we're like, this is the buy the dip opportunity, like time to buy.
Yeah,
and
it was by the dip,
we
and we
bought
bought
hard.
like when BTC like crashed here, like around here, like it wicked back down, and we were like, no, it's by the dip.
Yeah, so we bought.
And that's what happened. Like you can see, even the indicator, it had a bear print, but the band didn't change color to match it. So that also showed us that it's sort of like a bear trap.
Exactly. And we actually called it, not only like were we able to do that from our indicator, so if you were doing this kind of by yourself, you could still do the same, just watching the indicator and following that way. But we were also then directly, it's like, hey, you know, this is our we're like, this is our opportunity to buy the dip. So anybody who's looking to enter the market or hasn't yet, maybe buy the dip. And people did very well who did jumped in on the dip buying, you know. And
because you know, it, like BTC went up like 14%.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, even if you take the wick, right?
Oh, take it from the wick to the wick.
So that's like 17-18% Bitcoin. And then Ethereum, I think, was more. Yep. 25%.
Yeah, big swings. And then, you know, of course, there's also options to do this with leverage or to do this with like derivative assets like options.
That's what we were doing.
And so yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we were showing people not just like the timing, but also the vehicles that can maximize these profits. You know, some people don't want to maintain.
Maximize.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people don't want to maintain their own margins, for example, for a collateralized leverage position. So then those people maybe are more interested in holding option contracts that don't have liquidation prices. And, you know, there's all these different abilities to do that, not just directly on the blockchain, which is obviously my favorite thing, but also from your broker account or even at this point from your IRA account. And so we were...
Yeah, because there are ETFs available.
Yeah, so we were participating across the market here. It's been really kind of exciting.